Cookie Monster, Elmo getting Times Square trouble. Sure.
A mere 17 bucks.
It's easy to say, oh yeah, these guys make 300 a day. Yeah, on that one day, and then the next time you saw them, they were begging for lunch money, which is what I'm doing now. I'm currently trying to earn money to pay back the money I borrowed for lunch.
As the numerous Elmos and Cookie Monsters walk the streets fighting for the same tips, things can and do get ugly. Recently, a man dressed as Cookie Monster allegedly pushed a 2-year-old after his parents didn't tip. A man dressed as Super Mario was charged with roping a woman back in December, while the man in this video, dressed as Elmo, was busted last summer for shouting anti-slurs.
What the fuck?
Don't use Michael Milken's international leapfrog. Don't use Michael Milken's international.
Some of the cosplay characters are a little too aggressive. It's just how it is. These guys can't see anything, especially when it's in the shade, and especially when there's a big crowd on top of them.
Thanks the resub.
The visibility out of here is like this. I mean, I literally cannot see anything. And that's what the accusations all are.
Yeah, I've watched the Leon Lion stuff.
Spider-Man punched me, so-and-so pushed down my kid. I'm sorry, I just don't believe that.
And those New Yorkers who stopped to pose agree. The bad behavior may just be isolated incidents and welcome the huggable attraction.
That's pretty fucking wild. I usually like to watch the mascot fights. I remember we watched, who was it? Was it Elmo? No, it was Spider-Man fighting in Times Square. Spider-Man fucking threw down. Okay, I'm too interested by the story. Yeah, I'm gonna check it out. I'm sure they don't show anything.
An entire family gunned down in cold blood in a sinister plot to take the lives of at least 70 more.
What?
On today's episode of Morbid Reality, we document the rise and fall of Trey Sessler. Trey Eric Sessler was born on August 8, 1989, to a loving family comprised of his mother Rhonda, father Lawton Ray, and a single older brother named Mark. Led to the eventual creation of his YouTube channel Lenscap Productions in September of 2006.
That sounds familiar.
There,
Lenscap
Trey posted numerous. Over the next 5 years,
this
Trey
was a
would
big gun guy?
Review, discussing everything he knew and loved about anime, while also occasionally uploading gun-themed skits and even a few weapons demonstration videos.
This does not look like the kind of guy that would be obsessed with guns. Not even wearing a ball cap, no pickup truck.
Gun violence.
Yes, I'm ranting on something a little bit anime unrelated. I'm ranting on all the shootings that have been
Oh, boo! No anime, no interest.
Myself, but
on May 13th of 2012, Trey uploaded a video titled Mr. Anime's New Job.
Okay.
In it, he details how he just found full-time employment for an unnamed production company, thanks to the
Is his channel still up? Because I can't imagine it had these dislikes back
then. He also reassured his audience that while uploads may be slowing down, that the channel was in great health and that he had no plans of quitting YouTube anytime soon. This, unbeknownst to Trey and his fans alike, would be the last time he was seen on camera as a free man. YouTube's anime community.
That's gotta be tough.
If you haven't heard, Trey Sessler, aka Mr. Anime, has been arrested for suspicion of, well, he's been arrested and charged with murdering and shooting and murdering his mother, his father, and
that's gotta be
brother.
Tough, man.
It turns out that in the
But I'm sure they weren't like super
March
close if he uploaded a video talking about
Trey
it, right?
Sessler had snapped. From inside the house, Trey's brother Mark began to call out, complaining about the noise. It's then when Trey swiftly made his way back into the home, passing his brother in the hallway before re-emerging from his room with a different gun and delivering 2 shots. Mark, although wounded, managed to crawl into the nearby bathroom and to lock the door as Trey began to make his way to their parents' bedroom.
Oh, pretty bad time for a raid, Atrioc. This is a fucked up story.
After shooting his father twice, Trey decided to retrace his steps, later admitting to
maybe we switch for a minute. Yeah, this story's kind of like actually fucked up. Unfortunate timing. We were learning about an anime reviewer turned murderer. Probably a far cry from what you were just experiencing. Yeah, this shit is heavy. We're all big boys and girls here. We can learn a little.
At least that he wanted to ensure. Shortly after the killings, Trey continued his rampage and scribbling apology letters on the walls and doors. One of which read, "Why did I do this? I love my mom, dad, and brother." Police were later sent over
What
to
happened?
the Sessler residence by concerned
Did the monster with
residents,
21
and
faces
soon
use him like a
discovered the
fleshlight or
family's
something?
corpses. Trey, however, was nowhere to be found. Later that day, Trey was finally located and arrested. According to Trey himself, he'd been plotting a mass murder, claiming that he had plans to open fire on his old high school campus,
Holy
possibly
shit.
during a homecoming event. Trey began to explain to officers that he had thought about these plans in great detail, and even studied the crimes of past mass murders to piece together his own perfect plan on effectiveness,
This guy made a tier
weapons
list for it?
used, and the total number of victims killed. Trey noted that his family had to be killed. That way, they wouldn't have the burden of shame brought about by his actions. Just a few hours after killing his family,
Jesus.
Trey found himself in the parking lot of nearby Wallace Junior High School, armed with an assault rifle and hundreds of rounds. Before the killings, Trey said, "If I would have woken up that day and you would have come to me and asked, 'Are you going to kill your family tonight?' I would have definitely said no." So far, no real motive has been established, and Trey has since pleaded guilty to his crimes and is currently serving a life sentence without the possibility of parole.
And the possibility of anime.
Times how he'll never be able to forgive himself for his actions, and how he feels as though he deserves to be behind bars.
Mr. Anime. I don't know if I ever watched that shit. I used to be big into watching anime reviews, like back in I don't know. I mean, I still watch anime reviews, but I used to watch a fucking ton of them back in I don't know, 2012, 2013. I don't know if I ever watched his shit, though. Yeah, that was fucking nuts, man. Yeah, I'm assuming his channel's still up, judging by the likes and dislike ratios that she was showcasing. I imagine that the channel wasn't taken down, but I still don't want to look at it. Yeah, it was a far cry from the Glico Morinaga incident, which was mainly just like an actual goofy anime episode. Well, I keep saying that, and that's pretty disrespectful considering the lead detective lit himself on fire, but everything up until that point was just kind of goofy. Oh, I've seen this. Holy shit.
Jones barbecue and foot massage. Jones barbecue and foot massage.
I forgot about this.
Get some of this shit. You like to eat. America loves to eat. So why not
Thank you for
open up
Jelly
somewhere
and
America
Stefano
can sit down,
and
enjoy a
Sershaw.
meal, and get their feet rubbed. We'll fry anything you want for $5.99. As long as it's friable or edible, we're gonna make it deliciable. We will fry parts of the chicken you
Nice to
didn't even know
receive
was friable.
toasty.
The beak, the feathers, we'll fry candy bars. All that European stuff that you don't really normally eat, we'll bring it down here and fry it for you. Ask McDonald's to fry something other than what they normally fry. Guess what you're gonna get? Nothing. If it fit through the dough, I'll put it in the fryer. Hell, this is a dinosaur. All our meats are gently tenderized to their optimum deliciousness. We got fine dinosaur meats. Took my money, paid me pay child support. Come on down here and get you a slice. Once they get your
Why did he
first
stop
$10,
making
over.
these?
Motivated. So friends, let's just decide you don't want no barbecue. Well,
No, let's not even
Why
pretend.
not let one of my foot specialists or myself perform our magic? Look at that. Don't they look wonderful? If you really pay me enough, we'll massage your feet in any of these sauces also. Success
What a
is the
deal.
rule down here, Jones. Good ass barbecue and foot massage. So go ahead and give me a call or find us on the worldwide internets at the new website. That's JONES big ass truck rental and storage.com /
Is the site still up?
Good ass barbecue and foot massage.
I remember back in the day the site was up.
Excuse me, did you call number 52?
Did you hear me call number 52?
The variety of daily users from all walks of life congregating on one single public
Thanks, Resub
forum
Eddie.
has created a sense of community that's
man.
nearly unmatched in the current online landscape. Because of this, the website's given us the ability to look into our fellow Redditors' post histories, giving us a small peek into the lives they live. Oftentimes, these are mostly mundane. However, if you do a bit of digging, you'll find some that stand anomalous, abandoned, and forever embedded within the corner they carved online.
That's deep.
In 2017,
That's deep.
a user named Flip'n'Flop made a post explaining that they're eager to try out a drug by the name of Datura. While the initial response was greatly against it, Flip'n'Flop ignored
I
the
have
advice
no idea what
and
that
did it
is. What the
anyway,
fuck is that?
creating disturbing update
Here's a Prime
comments
7.
and leaving behind baffled onlookers that feared the worst had happened to them. This is the story of Flip'n'Flop.
If it's bath salts, then he probably just went to Florida. He probably took
Our
that
mystery
shit
begins
and then
on the
immediately went to
r/thread
Florida to get
subreddit.
more. I solved the case right away.
On the night of April 17th of 2017, Flip and Flop would jump in with a simple question. Finally got my hands on some Datura. How much should I take? Their post reads the following. Hi guys. I finally got some Datura to try out. I'm free tomorrow and have the house to myself, so I'm really excited to try the effects.
So it's not
of
bath salts?
Plant. I have around 60 seeds, some dried flowers, and leaves. How much should I take for a nice first-time trip? I was thinking of crushing up X seeds and making tea with them. Drink the tea and smoke a couple of leaves while the tea is starting to
Damn, this guy's got it figured out. What the fuck is this?
15 seeds be enough?
Very classy.
Sources on the internet tell me a regular dose is around 10 to 20, but I've seen some talk about over 30 seeds. Thanks, guys.
It's close to acid. Okay.
It could have
not close to acid at all. Okay. Before I continue, how about I just look it up? So that way I can be caught up on what the fuck this is. Chat has no idea, so I'm just gonna look it up. Because I've actually never heard of that, which is surprising because I know of like every big drug. This must not be a very popular one. It's a poisonous plant, also known as devil's trumpets. Devil's trumpets. Okay. That's pretty fucking wacky sounding. Yeah, it looks like it's a psychedelic.
Cause death. A user named Rect recalled their prior experience with Datura, claiming that they're still scarred from it, in hopes of deterring the OP from giving it a try. I bought 2 Datura Inoxia plants from a local greenhouse.
Some Cambam, GMB, and Krusty.
Over the course of about 2 weeks. I never noticed too many effects initially. Dry eyes and mouth, hot flush skin, rapid heartbeat. But I was 100% in a state of psychosis that whole time and for about 2 weeks after I stopped using it. Like someone here said, it's a deliriant, so I wasn't even aware of how totally fucked I was.
Wow.
My friends got increasingly worried about me, and I finally broke down mentally. About a month later, I got diagnosed with generalized anxiety disorder and severe panic disorder with derealization and depersonalization.
Why is he still in the drugs subreddit then?
While the effects felt by Rect were severe.
He had this fucking awful experience and he's still in the same subreddit.
According to a Logarithm the Great, they claim that the potency of the drug can vary from person to person, and even sometimes through the time of day it's taken.
Just to give advice? I guess, maybe.
After reading this, I went forth and cross-checked their claim with a psychedelic education resource named thethirdwave.co, and found that while the time of day assertion isn't substantiated, Datura's so-called fatal dose ranges pretty widely. According to this guide,
he's a tier 1 frazzled and resubs collect.
100 milligrams of dry seeds have been known to kill, while others have taken substantially more than that and lived. Considering how heavily any drug's effects can vary from person to person, this declaration isn't that surprising. However, it is noteworthy.
Sorry to hear that, Soul Leader.
So,
oh, maybe Pierre
should Flip and Flop take?
These are the bits Mike and Crab.
Exactly 0. None. I hope this is a shitpost. Good luck and report back, please. Best effects will be achieved by doing none of it, I believe. Throw that fucking hell in the garbage.
Wow, this is actually a pretty supportive subreddit.
Unanimous. Let's see how they took it.
Huh, not bad.
Update.
We did it, Reddit.
I've crushed some seeds, around 15 to 16, in my mortar and put them in a glass of water. I've added some lemon juice and sugar to mask the taste. I'll just have to roll my joint with the Datura leaves, and I'll be set to go. I've decided I'll be sipping on the tea and slowly smoking the leaves until I feel the effect is strong enough. After this, commenters were questioning why they'd subject themselves to such a dangerous substance. They were wished good luck and were given advice for the phenomenon that they were about to experience. For Flip and Flop, it was the point of no return. The train left the station, and they were on a one-way track to the inevitable consequences.
It turns out transcended, became this ascendant being. He can now shoot lightning bolts from his dick or something. He is Datura now.
That commenters were tuned in.
Thanks for the gifts of Mike.
Everyone knew what was about to happen. However, hope for the best remained abundant. Remind me posts, well wishes, and questions on an update flooded the space. And, at least in that moment,
thanks for the gifts of Bailey.
All eyes were on the OP. 5:55 in the morning.
Never even heard of that, Sentient.
April 18th of 2017.
Thanks for Prime Max. I gave you the 10 though, Sentient.
How normal again stopped now.
Oh, is it definitely like a shit post?
Needless to say, everyone's concerns were validated. However, it was good to know that the OP was still alive.
And this is all a stunt.
The replies here were mostly well wishes, with a clear mood of apprehension. A user named Emilsko pled for the OP to reply to the thread when things became normal again, and another named Pest P gave their 2 cents on the matter as well. There unfortunately aren't any guarantees.
This feels very fake now. I'll let it ride though.
Evening, nearly exactly 12 hours later.
He made a video game? Holy shit. He smoked so much datura that he made a game?
By a Redditor named Nitris in the gaming subreddit. It's allegedly depicting mammoths in an accurate battle simulator. Yeah, they nailed that one.
Well, I mean, that's the joke. Okay.
Well, because someone we know very well by this point made their way to this space.
Exhibits cuddle.
Please, these big dogs are fighting. Not okay.
Holy shit.
It appears to me that Flip and Flop's trying to claim that, please, these big dogs are fighting. Not okay. With the big dogs, of course, being their interpretation of the mammoths in that GIF. If I'm being honest, it's safe to say that Flip and Flop's discovery of this post likely didn't do them any favors. Depictions of an animal quite literally launching another one in the air while under the influence of something as unpredictable as datura would probably mess me up pretty badly.
I don't really believe any of this anymore. This just seems like a Redditor doing a stunt.
Would never return. Their thread continued to rack up comments pleading for any sort of update. However, through all of this, fear remained abundant that the worst had happened.
How does this go on for so much longer? How do you get like a conclusive answer to this?
Sadly, most of the search results surrounding the username Flip and Flop aren't useful. I was hoping to dig up accounts that they might have migrated to on other websites, but it frustratingly didn't obtain much.
Thanks to the big tier 2.
Scouring the surface web is an uphill battle. We can find a considerable amount of posts asking about him. However, concrete answers to that are non-existent. There was a Flip and Flop with 1P account I found that could have been a potential lead. However, considering that the last post they made was 8 years ago on the NoFap forum, it's needless to say that I was only left with dead ends.
Well, I don't know about that.
Speaking of dead ends, the following is a list of accounts and their current status I found on other websites with the name Flip and Flop. Imager, dead. Facebook, dead.
Oh, I can feel shit coming on.
Dead. Photobucket, dead. Reddit, dead.
Hey, threw some pyro.
Doesn't work. Taringa.net, dead. Babyblog.ru.
What?
This is getting weird, but dead. I'm sure you get the picture by this point. The name is surprisingly common, and the results increase tenfold once you factor in the other spelling of Flip and Flop. Brute forcing our way into tracking this person down is only going to result in wasted time and a massive headache.
Maybe
so
really.
I'm going to pause my search here and pivot my focus towards the actual drug he took because my curiosity's peaked.
Does he take it?
How serious really is it? And is it actually as fatal as it's made out to be? To answer this, I made my way to a non-profit educational resource by the name of arrowit.org that specializes in providing information about various psychoactive plants and chemicals. In their entry about datura, they claim that it's a woody-stalked, leafy herb growing up to 2 meters.
It doesn't look like a scary plant.
And large white or purple trumpet-shaped flowers that face upward. Most parts of the plant contain atropine, scopolamine, and hyoscyamine. It has a long history of use in both South America and Europe, and is known for causing delirious states and poisonings in uninformed users. This definition got me curious on the effects of atropine, scopolamine, and hyoscyamine, and so I dug a bit further. According to Arrowid, these are known as tropane alkaloids.
So is this whole video about a guy that likely overdosed?
Disorientation, confusion,
or is there like, I'll just let it ride.
Delusions, panic, and more. Furthermore, the resource states that in this class of hallucinogens, namely,
I think it's still very likely fake to begin with, but yeah.
That the hallucinations and delusions are, in every sense, real and may attempt to interact with them. This can range from amusing to dangerous. This almost leaves me to wonder what kind of experience Flip and Flop had.
This is a gift
sub
Soul Eater.
Widely.
Looks a bit
As
num
we know
num.
by this point, an update from their aftermath is non-existent, and at this time, we have yet to gather a detailed, first-hand account about a Datura trip. So what is it really like? A user on a website named steamit.com shared their story about 3 years ago. In their post, they claimed that they had taken about 8 dried seeds and were eager to experience the effects. After doing so, however, they were immediately met with extreme thirst, causing their, quote, mouth to dry up in a horribly scary way. The dose in which you get active effects is extremely close to the amount needed for a fatal overdose. Following this, they share
Kinsama's in prison? God damn it.
what it was they went through. After about an hour, I felt a weird mix of euphoria and dysphoria. It had a bizarre sense of fun to it, as reality and imagination blended to form one. It gave me a very trippy feeling, which was at the time chilling and scary. After quite a long time, maybe 2 hours, I felt poisoned as I can't remember how I acted or how I perceived the world.
I'm not really into this one, man. If there's only 2 posts to go off of, there's no conclusive answer.
Everything felt surreal, and I definitely had some weird
It's more just like a warning against
which
it.
at the time felt realistic and normal. Then the creature became outrageous.
Is that how it ends?
It almost seemed like too perfect of a storm. Like the perfect storm, about the fatal dose being incredibly close to the one in which you feel the effects, combined with the possibility that Flip and Flop didn't have anyone with them
Thanks,
to make sure
Resub
he was
Dog.
okay. It all seemed like the perfect storm of what not to do when trying out a substance for the first time. As a matter of fact, in some ways, it almost seemed... Here, I'll give you a hint.
Yeah, let me hear the hint.
The profile was created on April 17th, the very same day that their one and only post was made. Being entrenched in the world of internet mysteries, observations like this stand out to me like a sore thumb. It appears to me that this account was made for the sole reason of discussing their story about trying Datura. While, sure, they potentially could be separating this from their personal accounts and life due to the taboo nature of something like this, it unfortunately discounts the validity of their entire account. Furthermore,
oh, he gets the same conclusion.
The profile for this post explains the lack of other social media or forum handles with the name Flip and Flop existing online. Without any sort of hint at their location, their main account, or their interests, tracking down the actual person and cross-checking a potential case record is impossible. Now, don't get me wrong here. While I'm entertaining the idea that this could be fabricated, the sequence of events that took place lend credence to this being real.
What?
If we look at the post, it was made at 5:21 p.m. Central on April 17th of 2017. Over the course of the next 26 minutes, Flip and Flop would go from asking about trying it to having it prepared. If we're considering the potential that their mind was made up on...
It's not a very interesting story, to be honest. It's a Redditor made one post, and then there's 2 posts to follow it up.